Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, happy Sunday, happy Easter to each and every one of you. He has risen. Indeed. So listen, guys, this is going to be XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. We're going to go over some more madness on crypto Twitter. We're going to go over the market because again, the market is just simply doing what the market does. It's just simply doing what it does. Very, very exciting project that I've been sharing. This will be the third day in a row I'm sharing. EliteX.pro bringing DeFi to the XRP ledger, being both a lender and a borrower, is a really, really cool deal with his own launch pad as well. EliteX.pro. I'm liking what I'm seeing from those guys. And again, this is being built on the XRPL. So I can't wait to cover that and perhaps even interview those guys. They'll reach out. I will certainly take that call or message and try to connect with them to do an interview and bring that to you guys for sure on the channel. So let's go over some of the, let's go over the market real quick. Shout out to CoinGecko. Shout out to CoinGecko. I was looking at my notional finance holdings. I think that I am going to exit stage left on that and make an interesting play. Make an interesting play in the Solana ecosystem. Yeah. Interesting stuff that I heard from Chris from Placeholder. Interesting stuff there. I just might have to do that. We'll see. Certainly not financial advice. You know how we do, guys. We would never begin to tell you what to do with your own money. We hope that whatever decisions that you make is based upon you coming up to your own conclusions. That's a skill set on and to itself nowadays. So listen, guys, the total cryptocurrency market cap, according to CoinGecko, the one and only screw coin market cap, is the total cryptocurrency market cap is at 1.22 trillion. It is down, however, for the new folks to the channel from over 3 trillion in total cryptocurrency market cap, down from over 3 trillion. The Bitcoin dominance is at 44.3%. And again, look, alt season has not happened with Bitcoin dominance at 44.3%. Nope. Not happening. Bitcoin's at $27,902. Ethereum is at $1,835. And XRP, the one, is at 50 cents. Nothing great in the 7-day returns as far as double-figure greens. You know, we like to report the double-figure greens. Yeah, look at that. Just don't see it on the 7-day because why? The market is just doing what the market does. Let's go over this thing here. A lot of people have done some content, put out some stuff on David Schwartz tweet here, and they missed the whole message, completely missed the whole message, unfortunately. So Sir Clown Sniper put out a video, not a video, a tweet. And he said, I would like Joel Katz and Hammertoe or anyone else to critique my 10 things from the community. I think I covered this on the other video. So it kind of starts out with the request. People keep kind of going to the well seeking confirmation. But anyway, so I put that. So David responds to these things right here. And in the thread, you'll notice that he has quotations, right, on each thread for each one of these 10 things. So it's quote unquote. It's not his quotes or words. What are his words, however? And I did respond to this, not David's, but to Sir Clown Sniper here, to David. I don't think I got a response from David, but David said, let's talk about those 10 things. Nobody can, and here's the thing. We got, people on crypto Twitter and content creators feeling as though David has confirmed some stuff for them. I beg to differ 1,000%. Here's David's words. Let's talk about 10 things. The first sentence is, nobody can speak for XRP and the XRPL. And these are just my own views. Also, it's dangerous to say something will definitely not happen. I'm talking about what is reasonable, and I'm adding, in his view, what's reasonable to expect. Everybody's focusing on the 10 things and his quotations and forgetting and not focusing on what he's saying. He says nobody can speak for XRP on the XRP ledger. And these are just my own views. He's not talking about coding, in which he's got all kind of credibility. All kinds. Not talking about cryptography, that where he has all kinds of credibility. He just said flat out, no one can speak for XRP in the ledger. He also says it's dangerous to say something will definitely not happen. I'm amazed at times at content creators who seek confirmation. Unbelievable. I say take the King Solomon approach. That dude says what's on his mind and does not seek confirmation. I love that. And I love that. Oh my goodness. But I honestly do think that Mark Phillips sums it up. Really, really does. Couldn't have said it even better, any better, I think. Mark Phillips, you know, the dude who wrote the famous Medium article that XRP was designed to be 10,000 per XRP. I'm constantly amazed, says Mark Phillips, at the hostility, toxicity, paranoia, and small-mindedness in crypto Twitter. He has a quotation here. It says, "It's not my idea, so it must be terrible." That response seems particularly common in crypto Twitter. It's possible someone else might have a legitimate idea of what the future holds. I used to, in my line of work, do some training around this idea of putting people on pedestals, if you will, and clamoring, right? You know, a lot of times it happens in the religious space. It definitely happens in the business space. People running around clamoring on the words of Elon Musk and Warren Buffett. People, you know, borderline idolizing pastors, idolizing business billionaire, CEOs. Gotta be careful putting people on, building on these pedestals, putting people atop the pedestal. Really, really careful of that stuff. Anyhow, so let me share something from who is it? Jeremy Hogan, that I thought was really, really interesting. The number one reason XRP is not a security. Interesting stuff. Now, what do you think about XRP being a security? Have you come to your own conclusion? My mentor used to say, run around and gather information like a squirrel. But make sure when you take time to pause that you make your decisions based upon you come to a conclusion based upon your own decisions. It's cool to gather knowledge, but can you come to your own conclusion based upon your own decisions based upon your own conclusion? And can you stand up and fight for that? Not giving a flying flamingo about what some other dude says? Number one reason why XRP is not a security, first, under the legislative definition of a security, XRP can only possibly fit under the definition of an investment contract. It is not a stock or bond, etc. Even the SEC concedes this, quote unquote, investment contract. An investment contract analysis is governed by the Howey case and progeny. The test in the case, investment in a common enterprise with expectation of profits from efforts of others, was in response to a lower court opinion that a speculative investment was required. The Howey case did not focus on the contract part of investment contract, but took it as a given that a contract was necessary as it was responding to the lower court. And indeed, I just addressed the contract part of the test just before rendering the Howey opinion. In the Joyner case, the court had just discussed the existence of a contract and had decided that there was an enforceable implied agreement or perhaps an explicit legal agreement. But either way, there was a contract between the offeror and purchaser, an investment contract. In the Ripple case, the SEC has failed to argue that there was an implied or explicit contract of investment. Instead, it argues that the purchase agreement is all that is required, and that is all it proves. But that argument tears the investment from the contract, as a simple purchase without more cannot be an investment contract. Say it again, as a simple purchase, interesting thoughts from Jeremy, without more cannot be an investment contract. It is just an investment like buying an ounce of gold, as there is no obligation for Ripple to do anything except transfer the asset, as is often the case because this is so obvious. There is not a lot of case authority directly on point, but all of the blue sky cases, which the Howey case explicitly states, dictates the definition of investment contract. All of them had a contract regarding the investment. Indeed, how can a person reasonably rely on an offerer to make them a profit when they have zero legal recourse when that offerer fails to come through? They cannot. Even the oft-quoted four-part test implies that a contract of sort is required. If the result seems harsh, keep in mind that the designation security is not meant to protect a would-be investor from making bad decisions. That's a good point. If the result seems harsh, keep in mind that the designation security is not meant to protect a would-be investor from making bad decisions. The securities laws are only there to require that the offerers make certain disclosures regarding the contract that the purchaser is entering. The issue is not whether Ripple used money for the sale of XRP to fund its business. The issue is whether the SEC has proven that there was either an implied or explicit contract between Ripple and XRP purchasers relating to their investment. Jeremy Hogan says there was no such contract. Jeremy's funny. He says, if you happen to be Judge Torres' law clerk, I hope this helps as you begin drafting the decision. Call me if you need anything else. Jeremy, operating in his lane, right? All of this stuff are from court stuff. He happens to operate in the lane of courts and in the judicial jurisdiction. That's where he operates, right? So he has a certain amount of credibility in that lane. Unfortunately, the newly proposed 10 things that some dude thinks that everybody needs to get right is not simply in the lanes that David operates in. There's a couple of them that are not in the lanes that David operates in. I think Jeremy Hogan has been sounding the alarm on something that perhaps we should pay a little bit more attention to, because it affects us all. Because we all operate under judicial jurisdiction. We all operate supposedly under those things they call the amendments. I believe it's 10 of them in the Constitution. We're all affected by that. Jeremy Hogan put this tweet out, and I've been sharing it with some people on the channel. The dude says, "Dear United States crypto people, the events of the last 6 months have made it clear that the Fourth Amendment has been breached. That's the old search and seizure amendment that's supposed to protect you from unreasonable search and seizure. However, if the courts decide that it is reasonable, if the courts decide if it's reasonable, it's reasonable. For search and seizure. The events of the last 6 months have made it clear that the Fourth Amendment has been breached. It is unfortunately time to retreat to the inner walls of the 10th Amendment, which is the states and the states' rights. Please take a look at your state and ensure you're where you want to be. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this state thing in the 10th Amendment. And Jeremy Hogan has been sounding this alarm since March of 26 about your rights being violated. Retweeted it out again. Meanwhile, crypto Twitter influencers are bickering about a newly proposed XRP community 10 things, while clamoring for confirmation bias from a dude who happens to be a cryptographer. Your Fourth Amendment rights have been breached. And for further protection, you might want to look into the 10th Amendment. I hear, because this is a country of laws, and some things might come down to being before a judge in a court, making an argument for your Fourth Amendment rights. Some things that a ledger can't protect, I would argue. Interesting that he mentions the 10th Amendment. It says you got to go to your state and hope that you can get some confidence there. Please take a look at your state and ensure you are where you want to be. Texas. Texas just came out with a new bill. Interesting new bill. In the bill, it speaks to the Federal Reserve It speaks to the Federal Reserve, which just happens to be a United States entity. Just happens to be a United States entity. Let me go here because Zach Rector shared this. I didn't pull it up, but let's go here for a second because this I do think it's important. Is it there? They're just kind of point this out because it's not so much the bill, it's why for this particular bill. Let me share this with you. Right? It's what's the reason folks coming up with this bill? And why is the state of Texas
for less than $30 per ounce? The premiums are going up, and of the US dollar has decreased by 90.
See it.
And we're finally in March. Now they were hiding, they weren't reporting. Now they finally have come out and admit that they are loading up BRICS nations. What new reserve currency are they coming up with? And the deals get announced on a daily basis now. Countries moving away from the dollar currency.
Yeah, here it is here. This, and I'll pull it up. It says here, let me pull that up. Texas bill would create state-issued gold-backed digital currency, right? Let me do this. Would create state-issued gold-backed. State-issued gold-backed. State-issued gold-backed is important. I want to get this bill, gold-backed digital currency, another probably important thing. I mean, I could have you guys listen to Zach, but let's see if we can't find this particular from Zero Hedge. And I get that, you know, the video was about, kind of gold and silver. The state of Texas would hold gold backing the currency in trust on behalf of the digital currency holders. The trustees shall maintain enough gold to provide for the redemption in gold of all units in the digital currency that have been issued and are not redeemed for money or gold. Let's see if this is the one here. And again, I just say to you, why for does Texas feel the need to do such a thing? Let's see if they speak to it here. Come on. See. And again, they speak to the government. I want a government entity, and I think that's important. Okay, just let me do this for. This is not. There it is right there. There it is. This is the thing that's, I think, is important. Bill introduced in the Texas House and Senate would create a state-issued gold-backed digital currency. Enactment of this legislation would create an option for people to transact business in sound money, set the stage to undermine the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money, and create a viable alternative to a central bank digital currency. So the bill was proposed and put together with those two things in mind: the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money and an alternative to the central bank digital currency. But the US government didn't put this together. A state put it together. Perhaps because the state recognizes, just like Jeremy Hogan recognizes, that your Fourth Amendments have been breached. Your Fourth Amendment rights have been breached, and that you will have to look to the 10th Amendment. For protection. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. I hope that makes sense to y'all. I'm very, very blessed to reside in the state of Texas who gets it. Who, you know, made the history of the state, made some mistakes without question. Without question. But they get this one. They get this one for sure. Undermine the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money and an alternative to the central bank digital currency. Options, family. Options. In establishing the digital currency, the comptroller shall establish a means to ensure that a person who holds digital currency may readily transfer or assign the digital currency to any other person by electronic means. All right, fam, look, it's been a really, really cool hangout. Sorry for the serious tone, if you will, in the video. I'm usually not so serious, but I just think it's hugely important to recognize where we are. You know, having your Fourth Amendment rights be breached is a little bit more important than XRP community 10 things, I think. All right, guys, look, so that wraps up your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor and hit that like button so we can smash the algorithm on YouTube. And if you enjoyed the hangout, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or we upload a video. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos. I'm reminding you guys of this.
Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.